When I first started going to the gym, I did not look over what I ate, my diet, or anything related to what I was eating before training. This in the start made me gain very minimal with gym progress. It made me gain almost nothing. I started later on within my training, after almost a year of training regularly at the gym. I started fixing my diet. I started fixing when I was trying to look over more what I was eating, making sure I was eating the right foods all the time, not eating the bad foods, and making sure that I was keeping myself accountable more on my diet and on what I was eating. When doing that, I gained a lot more muscle. It got like a lot faster gaining muscle. Instead of taking a year, it took me only like up to 5 months until I was gaining a bigger amount of muscle. And that shows that what you eat affects to a huge amount on how much muscle you'll be able to build in the gym. So the basics with diet, what you have to consider with your eating, is that you have to eat whole foods. You should not eat processed foods, extremely ultra processed foods. Generally try to avoid eating fast food as much as possible, like McDonald's, Burger King, KFC, all of those type of fast food chains, and try to avoid eating it too frequently. Try avoiding not eating it every day, for example. Start eating more whole foods in general. So when trying to get a good diet and eat better food and to build more muscle, you have to consider in getting 3 essential macronutrients into your diet in order to build more muscle. So the first one is protein, which is used as the building blocks for your muscle and the building blocks to build more muscle. Then there are carbohydrates, which is also very famously known as carbs, that supply glucose to your muscles and stores them in your muscles as glycogen. And then finally, you have fat, which is very helpful when trying to build muscle because it helps maintain hormone levels like testosterone. Testosterone is a very important male hormone, and it helps with building more muscle, and it makes it easier to maintain muscle as well, and not just building the muscle. So then, when you're actually trying to start trying to diet and start to eat better, you have to consider eating the right foods. And a lot of these are usually dependent, and when trying to build muscle in general, it's very important that you follow these to get either one of these 3 macronutrients in. You have to get almost all of them in order to properly build muscle. And I will go over for you today on which macronutrients and which foods in general with these macronutrients that you should consume. So the first one that you should start eating or start to eat to make your diet better is beef. Beef contains a very high amount of protein, and it's primarily the beef from the cows. Eating steaks, parts of the beef, very good. Trying to eat ground beef is very helpful as well, with that it's a lot cheaper and very cheap and pretty accessible in almost every grocery store in the entire world. Then you have, and it's in general very easy like that. And the second one, which is very good for protein, is chicken. It's instead of red meat, which beef is, it's more of white meat. Consists of a very high amount of protein. And if you generally if you want more protein, usually you could take the chicken breast. But in general, if you want a bit of a cheaper price, you can have chicken thighs, which also tastes usually a lot better, in my opinion, than chicken breasts. And this does not usually end up as dry, usually, most of the time. And then you also have a very other good other macronutrient with carbohydrates. And the first one, which I like a lot, is rice or white rice, which is good with carbohydrates and with these glycogen type of things. And I prefer usually white rice a lot more than brown rice, for example. And someone here might start complaining about, oh, blood sugar increasing, all of that. It's like, usually it's white rice is fine. I've done it, built a lot of muscle. I'm feeling fine doing it. I don't really have that much problems with blood sugar. And then the second one is the second carbohydrate, which is very good, is potatoes, which in my opinion tastes very good, and it works very well with combining in different meals. You can have beef and potatoes. Sometimes you can have chicken and potatoes. You can do potatoes baked. You can boil potatoes, and you can really eat them a bit whenever you want, really. And it's very easy to have as leftovers. Very easy to eat. And the next one, which is very good, is cheese, which contains good fats in general. It's someone might complain about saturated, unsaturated, all of that, but I've eaten cheese, managed to build a lot of muscle on cheese, and it also contains a very high amount of protein. And there in general has a lot of protein, which is generally healthy for humans. We've consumed that for a very long time, which is really not a problem for me, that with cheese or anything like that. So it's good. It's pretty good with fat, and it's good with, once again, on these proteins and all of that. And lastly, the most obvious one, which is probably very expected, are eggs, which is my favorite source of protein, actually. I consume a lot of eggs every single day. I consume up to 4 to around 6 eggs each day. It's very good with a lot of these fats. It's very good with protein. And it's also very good if you want to get other micronutrients like vitamins, and it contains most type of vitamins, and it's very helpful, and it's a very good thing they're relatively cheap in most of the world to get eggs, and is also a very accessible thing for people to consume. You can have it as breakfast, you can have it as a lunch or a dinner or whatever. Usually in any time you can boil it, scramble it, fry it, poach it, and generally all of these type of things, which makes it possible that you can combine eggs with a lot of different, usually different types of ways you can do it, and not just one specific way, usually, which makes you feel like you're varying a lot more than you actually are.